Financial markets are collapsing and people are panicking. Talks of domestic travel bans, stock markets closing, and over 20% of the United States right now on complete lockdown. And that number will probably likely grow this week. But is this all an accident? Many people are saying the current financial crisis we are facing is a full-blown conspiracy that has been planned for years, and there's some very interesting evidence. Many people in cryptocurrency believe that this is the Armageddon that Bitcoin was built for. Is it crazy talk, or are they crazy like a fox? Let's get it. Hello and welcome to BitBoyCrypto, your one-stop shop for all things related to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I make videos on this channel almost every single day. So if you like what you hear or see, then please make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell to turn on notifications. If you'd like to take the conversation even further, then please make sure to join my Telegram group, the Bit Squad. All right, guys, today we are going to be talking about all of the evidence that points towards this world shutdown possibly being a conspiracy. And even more importantly, if it is in fact a giant conspiracy, then what's the purpose? What are they after? There are some interesting pieces of legislation being pushed through right now, and I can't wait to tell you about it. So is it a coincidence? At the end of this video, I'm going to give you my personal thoughts about the entire scope of what we're looking at, conspiracies and legislation. But before we get into all the conspiracy talk, I do want to tell you guys about a trading competition that's happening right now at OKX. I'm participating in this competition as a team captain and would love for you to join me. There is over $150,000 in prizes available, and as compared to trading competitions in the past on other sites, there are not that many people signed up for this one. So you actually have a real shot to win a piece of that $150K. If you want to sign up for my team, you can do that by going to okx.bitboy.live. I also have a special trading Telegram group now that's available for you to join to talk about the competition. You can do that at t.me/BitSquadTraders. Now, on to the conspiracies. Let's go. While I won't be able to cover every single conspiracy theory people are throwing out there because there are so many, I did want to take a look at some news articles that are putting out some conspiracies and some other things that people are talking about during this time. The first one is revolving around something called Event 201. I have to admit that Event 201 could go down in history as the oddest coincidence ever. So several months ago in October of 2019, literally a mere 1 month before the first case of the disease popped up, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation partnered with Johns Hopkins University to hold a high-level pandemic exercise. The point was to show how businesses and governments could work together across the world to mitigate the spread of a strain of the exact disease we're dealing with right now. In their scenario, the sickness started at a pig farm in Brazil and eventually would spread around the world, killing 65 million people. It'll be interesting to find out what our final death toll is. But this did happen. It was in fact real. You can look up the website that described the event. Oddly, Bill Gates also stepped down from the board of Microsoft this year. But he wasn't the only one. Many CEOs stepped down. In fact, in 2019, we saw the biggest number of CEOs ever step down from their companies. 1,640 CEOs stepped down just last year. That's more than in 2008, which was the year with the most ever before last year. This is a stat that's been tracked since 2002. In 2018, about 1,450 CEOs stepped down. So this was an increase of about 10 to 15%. It's almost like they knew something was coming. One thing that's been hard for me to nail down is the total amount of businesses in 2019 compared to 2008, and that's because a lot of people are working from home as sole proprietors now. I suspect, though, that there are many more businesses as opposed to the early 2000s, but I could be wrong. But here's the truth, folks. We were at the top of the stock market. Whether we were going to get a full-blown crisis like this, like the one we have now, or just a bad recession, it was going to happen soon. I believe that this is why we saw numbers increase significantly in 2018 and then again last year. But some are making the argument that these CEOs knew something we didn't, and many of them acted on that information. So not only were CEOs stepping down during this time, but many people are now saying that they were also doomsday prepping. An article by Business Insider suggests that some of the wealthiest people in the tech space have been buying up remote properties in New Zealand and other hideaways. The CEO of Reddit, Steve Huffman, told The New Yorker in 2017 that he bought motorcycles, guns, and ammo. But the really interesting thing is what he said about the other CEOs and wealthy people. He said about 50% of all billionaires have been doomsday prepping for a disaster. If there truly is some type of civil unrest around the world, it's likely that the rich would be a high target for looters, rioters, etc. Without a strong police presence or security force, these people could be totally exposed. I've always believed that there is a very fine line between chaos and order in society. It seems like I'm not the only person who believes this. Huffman and even another former Reddit CEO, Yishan Wang, went to the extreme of getting LASIK eye surgery to increase their vision for doomsday prepping. It almost seems like they believe they may need to have good vision for, who knows, maybe a scope, if you know what I'm saying. Some have purchased property, taken archery classes, stocked up on gold, and loaded up on firearms and ammo. But the question is, do rich people really know something we don't? Or are they just bored with so much money that they figure, why not be prepared just in case? For these billionaires, spending a very small micro portion of their wealth on doomsday prepping seems to make sense, even if it is a very small chance of something like that ever happening. But many people believe this is just what they want us to believe. So if this is all a giant conspiracy, what are these shadow organizations after? The most common answer is power and population control. And I will say, there are some odd legislations being put forward. One is called the Urna Act. Now, the official first draft of this bill was written back in January before we arrived to a level of panic here in the US. But if it's a conspiracy, then the timing would be perfect. The Urna bill would destroy encryption on the internet, meaning that the government could spy on literally anything that takes place on the entirety of the web. This would make it illegal to even innocently surf the dark web. The government could confiscate anything such as computers or servers that were involved at all on the dark side of the internet, even if there was no wrongdoing taking place. This is being pushed for the purpose of destroying child porn. And let me tell you, that is a much bigger problem than you probably believe. Estimates say that 90% of the internet is considered to be the deep web, and 90% of the deep web is related to child pornography in some way. So that means that 81% of the entire internet is supposedly part of a dark circle of depravity. Scary to think about, terrifying actually. But many suggest this legislation is simply a way to take rights away, and it isn't even really focused on solving that problem. Another strange thing that occurred in the last few days at the DOJ was that they asked for emergency powers to detain people. Now, this was done in the Civil War when Abraham Lincoln suspended habeas corpus during that time. This means people could be detained without trials or an opportunity to prove their innocence. While this is something that we do need to watch closely, the truth is the Department of Justice, along with every other department in the government, is trying to figure out how to navigate a crisis. In my state, all court cases have been suspended indefinitely. And in others, police have been told not to arrest people for minor crimes. Right now, our justice system is not working the same, just like everything else. To me, the breakdown of conspiracies comes into play when people try to figure out the mysterious who that is behind wanting all of this global panic. People say it could be population control, but I would say, why? The world is most likely not ending in our lifetimes. The most powerful people are older generations due to their immense wealth. So why would they be fighting to preserve a world that they will be leaving soon anyways? And I'll tell you this, if lizard people from another planet are really pulling all of the strings, would you even want to know anyways? I know I wouldn't. Keep me plugged into the Matrix, please. And yes, believe it or not, a significant portion of the population does believe lizard people from another planet are real and run the world. But that's a totally different story for a totally different day. But let's take Event 201 for instance. Do you really believe that if this was a true conspiracy to plan out an actual global epidemic, that they would just have all of the information sitting out there in the public? But this is why it's actually impossible to debate with people who passionately believe in conspiracy theories. According to them, a super secret elect group of mysterious people runs the world in order to gain more power, even though they're already the richest and most influential people in the world. It stands to reason that these people would want to remain secret and keep their plans hidden. But Event 201 was wide open to the public. Everyone involved in it was written about in news articles. When you bring this up to conspiracy theorists, though, they simply say, exactly, they want it to be hidden in plain sight. Like, I'm sorry, dude, that doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, this outbreak started from either an animal or a lab accident. We've seen it in many pandemics in the history of the world. I don't think anyone planned this. Call me naive, but I've done a lot of research, and the most likely answer is the simplest answer, a la Occam's razor. But only time will tell. Now it's your turn. Tell me if you believe I'm crazy for not believing in mass conspiracy theories, or if you're with me and you try to stay a little more in the real world. Drop your thoughts below, would love to hear them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please smash the like button and hit subscribe to become a member of the fastest growing community in crypto, the Bit Squad. And that's no conspiracy. Thank you for watching this video. Have a blessed day. BitBoy out.